Alright guys, today you are going to look at section 6.1, which is called Law of Sines. The law of sines is used to find various angle measures and side lengths of triangles. So for this triangle ABC, we're given our law of sines is that side A over sine of angle A equals side B over sine of angle B equals side C over sine of angle C. You can also inverse that by flipping the fractions upside down. And so you'll get sine of A over A equals sine of B over B equals sine of C over C. Alright, so hopefully everybody's got that down. So if we look at example 1A, we're given a triangle ABC where we know angles B is 29 degrees, angle C is 102 degrees, and side length B equals 28 degrees. So we need to find angle A and then sides A and C. Okay, first thing I know when I'm finding angles is that all angles of a triangle add up to 180. So I know that 180 is going to equal the 29 plus the 102 plus angle A. So then 29 plus 102 is 131. So 131 plus angle A equals 180, which tells me that angle A equals 59 degrees. I meant 49 degrees, 49 degrees. So A is 49 degrees, so we've now found that. So we need to find side A and side C. If I start with side A, I know that sine of angle A over side A equals sine of angle B over side B. Okay, so then angle A is 49, so I know that sine of 49 degrees over some unknown side equals the sine of 29 degrees over 28. So we solve that by cross multiplying. So 28 sine of 49 equals A sine of 29. Then you divide by sine of 29 degrees. And we plug that into our calculator. You need to make sure that your calculator is in degree mode when you do that. Alright, so 28 times sine of 49 degrees gives me approximately 21.132. Sine of 29 degrees gives me approximately 0.485. And 21.132 divided by 0.485 gives you approximately 43.571. So side A is 43.571. If I do the same thing to find side C, I know that sine of C over C equals sine of B over B. Okay, so if we go back up to our diagram, we know that angle C is 102 degrees. So we're going to get sine of 102 degrees divided by sine C. I know that sine B is sine of 29 degrees, and side B is 28. We're going to solve that the same way by cross multiplying, so 28 sine of 102 equals C sine of 29. Divide by sine of 29. Divide by sine of 29. 28 sine of 102 is approximately 27.388. If you divide that by sine of 29, we get approximately 56.426. So A is 43.571, C is 56.426, and your angle A ended up being 49 degrees. So let's do another one like that. So I'm given a triangle ABC where angles A and angle B are 30 and 45 respectively, and side A equals 32. I need to find my side lengths B and C and my angle C. It's always easiest to start with your angle, because I know that these two angles, which I have, 30 plus 45, plus some angle C, are going to have to add up to 180. So 30 plus 45 gives me 75. So 75 plus C equals 180. So C equals 105 degrees. Okay, now that I have all my angle measures, I can go into using my law of sines to find my side lengths. So I know sine of A over side A equals sine of B over side B. My angle A is 30 degrees, so sine of 30 degrees over side A is 32 equals the sine of 45 degrees over side length B, which we don't know. Cross multiplying, I get B sine of 30 equals 32 sine of 45. Okay, so then I divide by sine of 30. So B equals 32 sine of 45 divided by sine of 30. Well, 32 sine of 45, if you plug that into your calculator, is 22.627. If you then divide that number by sine of 30, you should get approximately 45.255. So I know that side length B is 45.255. To find side C, I'm going to use the similar formula, law of sines. So sine of A over A equals sine of C over C. Sine of A is sine of 30. A is 32. C is 105, so sine of 105. And we don't know side length C. We follow the same process of cross multiplying. I get C sine of 30 equals 32 sine 105. Then divide by sine of 30. So C equals 32 sine of 105 divided by sine of 30. (32 sine of 105 plugged into your calculator is 30.910 when you round it. If you divide that by sine of 30, you will get approximately 61.819. So C is 61.819. I look at example 2a, I'm given angle A equals 43 degrees, angle B equals 98 degrees, angle C equals just side length C equals 22. Okay, so the first thing we have to find is angle C. I know that angle A, which is 43, plus angle B, which is 98, plus some angle C is going to add up to 180. Okay, so 43 plus 98 adds up to 141. So 141 plus some angle C equals 180. That then tells me that C is equal to 39 degrees. Okay, now that I have all of my angles, I can use my law of sines to find my side lengths. So if I look at sine of A over side length A, the only things that I have that I know both of is my C's. I know my side length C and I know my angle C. So I'm going to use my sine of C over C. Doing that then, I end up with sine of 43 over some unknown A equals sine of 39 over C, which is 22. Cross multiplying, I get 22 sine of 43 equals A sine of 39. Then if I divide by sine of 39, I get A equals, well, 22 sine of 43, if you put that in your calculator, gives you approximately 15.004. If you divide that then by sine of 39, you end up with approximately 23.842. Okay, so we know A is 23.842. I also need to find side length B. So I'm going to use my sine of B over B equals sine of C over C formula. Well, I know that B was 98 degrees, so sine of 98 over B equals sine of 39 over 22. Cross multiplying, I get 22 sine of 98 equals b sine of 39. Then if I divide by sine of 39, (22) sine of 98 gives us approximately 21.786. If you divide that number by sine of 39 in your calculator, you get approximately 34.618. Alright, if we look at our last couple, on example 3a, we're given a equals 22, b equals 12, angle A equals 42. So we're only given one angle, so we can't find our other two angles using our normal solution of just adding up our angles to 180. So we're going to go straight into law of sines. I have my side and my angle for A. So I'm going to use sine of A over A as my constant. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find my sine of B over B. This will give me then angle B, because sine of A means sine of 42, and side A is 22. Sine of B is what we don't know, but we do know side length B is 12. If I cross multiply, I end up with 12 sine of 42 equals 22 sine of B. So I divide by 22. So 12 sine of 42 is equal to approximately 8.030. If I divide that by 22, then I end up with 0.365 approximately. But that's what our sine of B equals. We need to know what actually B equals. So we're going to use our inverse sine to find that. So an inverse sine and a sine will cancel, and I get B by itself. If I go ahead and take the inverse sine of 0.365, I will get approximately 21.406 degrees, because we are in degree mode. Okay, and then we're done with that part. Okay, now that we have two angles, we can find our third angle by adding them. So I know that A, which is 42, plus B, which is 21.406, plus some C has to add up to 180. So 42 plus 21.406 gives me 53.406 plus C equals 180. And so if I solve that for C, I get C equals 126.594. Okay, so C equals 126.594 degrees. Knowing that, now I can use my law of sines again to find angle on the other side C. So sine of A over A equals sine of C over C. Well, sine of A means sine of 42. A is 22. Sine of C means sine of 126, approximately, divided by my sine of my side C. In cross multiplying, I end up with C sine of 42 equals 22 sine of 126.594. And then if I divide by sine of 42, I can figure out what side length C equals. So 22 sine of 126.594 gives me 17.663. If I divide that by sine of 42, I end up with 26.397. Okay, so let's do one more like that. So A equals 12, B equals 5, angle A equals 31. I don't have enough angles to do my addition yet, but I do have angle A and side length A, so I know that I can use my sine of A over A formula. The only other piece of information I have is B, so I know that I'm going to use my sine of B over B formula. Sine of A means sine of 31. A is 12. Sine of B is what we don't know, but we do know that B is 5. Cross multiplying, I get 5 sine of 31 equals 12 sine of B. If I divide by 12, divide by 12, sine of B is going to equal whatever that is. So 5 sine of 31 gives me 2.575. If I divide that by 12, I end up with 0.215. If I take the inverse sine of each side, then my sines will cancel. And so inverse sine of 0.215 gives me approximately 12.392 degrees. So angle B is approximately 12.392 degrees. Using my addition property, then I know that 31 plus 12.392 plus some angle C has to equal 180. (31 plus 12.392 gives me 43.392 plus C equals 180. Which tells me then that C equals 136.608. degrees. Now that I have that information, I can finish this problem by using my law of sines again. So sine of A over A equals sine of C over C. Well, sine of A means sine of 31. Side A is 12. Sine of C means sine of 136.608. And we do not know side length C. When I cross multiply, I get C sine of 31 equals 12 sine of 136.608. Then I divide by sine of 31, divide by sine of 31. So the first thing I have to figure out is 12 sine of 136.608. If I plug that into my graphing calculator, I get 12 sine of 136.608 is approximately 8.244. I divide that by sine of 31. I get my answer to be C is equal to 16.006. So now I have all of my angles and all of my sides. Alright, so your guys' assignment today is you're going to work through page 434, 5 through 19.